Yeah, welcome to Academy of Tone 217. Our second part of the sound universe with the BluGuitar amps. I chose a song that is a rather vintage kind of what was happening if Yngwie was joining the Stones. Well, as you can see, even this combination is possible. So there is a very vast, wide range of tones that we can have in the music, in the amps. Yeah, we have received tons of requests, and therefore I would love to have all your comments. Yeah, we got here. One thing before we start, this last episode we had John Nathan Cordy, who was doing a review on the AMP1. The funny thing is, while we had the live stream, he was already uploading another episode on the AMP1, which I totally didn't knew. So what happened was, in the morning, I saw that thing. It's like 5 hours ago. He was uploading a follow-up review on the AMP1, revisiting it and liking it. And then I thought, you know, man, I just have to call the guy and see what's going on here. This is like more than this is more coincidence than anything else. Very nice guy. And then he told me, you know what? I'm gigging over the weekend, some functional gig, and I'll have the AMP1 as my, well, test dummy for that gig. And yeah, he again posted a video of that. Let's just watch a little clip of that so you can see he had some fun. Yeah, and watch the full video on his channel, of course. But check this out.
Right, so I got the chance yesterday. I had a gig. It was like a marquee gig in someone's very nice garden, essentially, well, a field behind their garden, and they had like a garden room office thing that was like bigger than my house, so that was cool. But I was gigging the AMP1 from BluGuitar because Tony asked, you know, are you going to try it on a gig, and said you're welcome to. So I thought, well, let's do that.
Yeah, John is, well, he told me over the phone that he needs to have a video, YouTube channel as an excuse to play guitar and produce stuff with the guitar, so he's busy. And by the way, we have to welcome Valeska again. She's helping out with the questions today. The whole Testweeks thing is kind of her idea, and she's managing every customer interaction.
I try, yeah.
Yeah, and we received quite a lot of emails.
Emails, questions,
yeah,
and happy users. That's nice to read. Thank you.
So we didn't know what to expect, and it seems to be very good because we get serious questions, we get positive feedback. I think everything is very productive in this way. I think we have so many requests here. We just jump into it.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's have a look on the laptop. Maybe you find. See? Yeah. It's, you need my fingerprint, hopefully. Yeah. And
yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
Is this the first one?
Is this the first?
Okay. I see. The question is. Yeah.
Yep.
The first question is a Les Paul style tone. So what is written? Great episode and
I'd love to see or hear your recommended do-it-all settings for live use using a PAF style guitar like your Gold Top Les Paul in the early classic rock sounds.
Yeah, so PAF, this is something special for the guys, nerds, patent applied for pickups, which is the early years of humbucker pickups. In 1957, this style of pickup was invented, the humbucker. Everybody in metal world uses that, but it was invented by Set Lover in 1957, and this tries to be a 57 Gold Top. It is actually a 68 because Gibson was pausing to produce Les Pauls after, I think it was 61 or 60, and then they came back in 68, and this is kind of the next option to get a vintage Gibson that is affordable, because the real deal 57s would be 80,000 or you know what I mean.
Okay.
Too much money for me, and this was only less. Yeah, I got it pretty cheap. The question for that was the all-round sound. Okay, Allman Brothers, Clapton, James Gang. Okay, just when we go back in time, we have to kind of think what was available for the guys. So there were a lot of Fender amps, like the stuff that I have here in the background, and Marshall amps. Allman Brothers and Clapton were using Marshalls. James Gang, this goes also with Joe Walsh, was mainly using Fenders and other weird amps. I will try to do something universal in the territory of Marshall. So what I will choose is very simple. I have the vintage channel. I get, I had no delay on. Maybe I should play this intro song again. But anyway, no. This, vintage channel is here. Les Paul, I start on 5. I need no boost. And then, let's see. So this is full volume and tone on the Les Paul. Everything all the way up. I'm using my Stack 1970 as usual. And yeah. I kind of like the sound already, but this is using the EQ. For some reason I dialed in something, for the Fenderish sound I was preparing, which was 8 and 7 here. Let's put everything in the middle and see how that sounds. So 5, I put the master on 10 just for, well, you can hear there's not much difference. So this is kind of all the way up, and I play very softly. So it's still clean. When I dig in hard, then I get a nice, crunchy, on the edge of breakup overdrive. Okay, maybe more treble. A lot of you guys think vintage means not too harsh. But honestly, when I was preparing for this episode, I was shocked how much treble I could find on Jimmy Page tone and a lot of vintage tones. I was not expecting this much of treble. Trust me, listen to some stuff on YouTube on your old records and you find some of the sounds had a lot of bites. So I increase a little bit of the treble here to like 7. maybe less bass. I can try with more mids. Here, pretty simple sound. Vintage channel, gain on 5. Where's the bass now? 3 to 4. The middle is on 7 and the treble on 7. Let's put in real numbers. 4, 7, 7. Just so we have numbers. And to show you that this sounds good with other PAF style pickups as well, I use the 335 in the second. And of course, with this kind of setting, you can do all the tricks that you can get with these pickups. Reduce the volume, clean up, and reduce the tone as well, like 10. Put the tone from 10 down to 8. Or even lower to 6. That's getting too dull. In between position. So, sounds pretty good to me. What about these are patent number pickups, because this is a 64, but you can hear different guitars, similar style of pickups. So this would be my recommendation for the question number 1. Clapton, yeah, if you need more gain, very simple, you just push the front end with a boost. So this is like the pickup all the way up. There's your whatever, already kind of boogie Mark 1 style. Yeah.
Question number 2.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Bam.
Jimmy Page. Okay, I'm going back to the Les Paul. Even though that 335 maybe sounds even better. I love that 335. I love my Les Paul too, but I think that 335 is a killer guitar. So yeah, I was checking the internet on stuff that he was using. I think I have a picture. Lucas, did you receive the picture of the stage from that live concert? The song Remains the Same. Of course, I did a screenshot on my phone. We see 2 Marshalls and we see an orange. And as this was recorded in 1971, we know it is the simple Marshalls. It's basically Plexis, 100 watts. So different guitars. Of course, his iconic Gibson Les Paul. Then he was using his double neck EDS 1275, which was the Stereo to Heaven 12-string special. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it says in the internet Marshall modded super bass and two 1959 super leads. Anyway, it's totally the classic sound, and from what I heard, he has even not that much gain. So basically, I would dial in a very, very similar tone here. Maybe having, let's say, an even brighter sound, because when you really listen to that concert, this was kind of shocking to me, because I was expecting that fat rock sound, and what I heard was a fat playing rock band, but with a fairly bright, aggressive tone. So rock and roll, everybody knows how to count in rock and roll. 1, 2, 3, da 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 da. Okay, 1, 2, 3, da da da. So you can hear this sound is actually too fat. So I go even lower on gain, and then I put in the boost. I didn't change the EQ for now. I think his cabinet was also a little bit brighter. But do you understand the difference in the gain structure? Less gain, and I achieved this by reducing the gain control here to, what was it, 3 or maybe even 2. So without a boost, it's like a clean, it's almost like a clean sound. It's like, but that's kind of a clean tone from the vintage channel. I'm on the standard gain mode, not low gain, just standard gain. And then to have a little bit extra, I use the boost. Let's try a different cabinet. This is Stack 1971. This is recorded 1971. Maybe that makes sense, because here is the bite. Okay, now I can go back with the treble a little bit from the amp. That's probably closer to the recording. Me personally, I prefer my Stack 1970. You can hear how big it sounds, and then crank the treble. Maybe even the mic position. Oops, that's my... Anyway, the point being here is we have to take a little well, distance to my personal preference sounds, that sound is way brighter than I would personally play sounds. It's easy to achieve with the AMP1. Here, just change the mic position and yeah, be careful with too much gain. It's the same thing with AC/DC, which sounds a lot warmer, but that kind of Jimmy Page sound is fairly bright, but still great. Okay.
Cool.
And this question was from Venezuela.
Caracas.
Nice. Let's make some vacation there. Okay.
Okay. Question number 3.
Of course.
Hi, Thomas. From Ralf Deschner. Cool.
So for me, one of the best tones come from Joe Walsh, James Gang, and the Eagles. There's so much energy in there. Would you like to know how you dial it in? Okay. Joe Walsh, I had so much fun getting some information on Joe Walsh. The best that I heard was an announcement on stage. It's like he said, you know, guys, it was way better to be 20 in the 70s than being 70 in the 20s. This guy is so cool. And I mean, he goes, and the way he plays is actually even funny. Like, okay, that's a bit too harsh. And he played that thing with a Telecaster, I know. So let's talk a little bit about Joe Walsh. He had a career in many bands, in the James Gang, in the Eagles, Hotel California, everybody knows that. And he played as a session guy or friend with many other bands. So he had a lot of classic tones using different guitars. He had a Tele, a Strat, a Les Paul, all the classic things. The amp arsenal that he was using for me was, I felt like mainly Fender based. So what I try to do, I start with the Tele. Oops, the stand is weird. Let's see what the Tele can do. And do like a cranked Fender. Oops, wow, this is super bright. A cranked Fender tone. So I use whatever, a silver face or Blackface. Let's do the silver to 112. I like that. Okay. Oh, tuning is king. Yeah, it's almost so. Ever heard that song?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's a song from the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay, but you heard the song. Okay. So now let's dial in a tone. Okay, the mic position is way too bright. Let's go for something decent here. I do it simple. Middle position of everything, bass, mid, treble. And I just try, well, the right speaker cabinet is a Fender. Yeah, I think it's not too far from what this should sound like. Again, the recipe is using gain pretty low, and maybe if you need more gain, use the boost. See, this is nothing. This is just vintage channel gain on 3. Very low, and middle position, and a Fender speaker, and there's like such a sound. But we will dive into more Fender tones later.
Okay, Ralph wrote "thank you" in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Deutsch.
Mich würde ein Song. Okay.
Yeah, you can read it in German and I translate to English.
Hey Thomas, mich würde ein Sound wie von Erik Steckel interessieren, wenn möglich mit dem Mercury. Erik nutzt ja seinen Mesa Barber Signature Amp und auch runtergestimmte LP-Style-Gitarren. Grüße.
Ja, also, I know Erik. We've been neighbors at a NAMM show, so yeah, I heard him play, he heard me play, and I think there's a history with him. Nice guy, by the way. And the history is he is using high gain amps, but he's playing like blues rock music. So basic idea is a modern version of blues rock, but with nearly a metal sound. I mean, the hardest tone in blues possible, I would say. So, and his right hand is killer. He's very fast, and what he's doing is a lot of cool attack is going on. Yeah, he had Bogner amps. Now he proudly endorses Mesa Barber, which is a cool guy that I also met at NAMM, Italian guy who builds these amps. And lately he plays the Nax guitars, which is, you know, like a modern Gibson, a little. This is kind of a vintage Gibson, but the modern Gibson style guitars, they are not as heavy, they are easier. I mean, he's not so huge, and a lighter guitar makes life easier on stage. And they have a nice defined neck, like knack in German, in the tone. So this helps him for the articulation of his fast playing riffs. Okay, I try to dial something. I have a sound example that I found on the internet, which is maybe a bit too bright, but this seems to be like a direct recording, so it's very honest in the way what it shows, similar to our live stream setup. When you usually hear records mixed, you will hear the sound a little bit warmer, but this recording that I found on YouTube is pretty raw and tells me a lot about details in the tone. Check it out. Yeah, okay, pretty impressive. Let me try to find something. What I'm doing now is I use a drop D. So we have this kind of... Now we have to think the opposite. We need high gain. We have been in the low gain territory with all these vintage players, and now we need the opposite. Okay, let's tame the volume for a second. Well, I would give this like a first attempt, which is now a classic channel, gain on full, boost on full, and the tone is still counterclockwise, yeah, and the tone is bass middle, middle, and treble a lot. What is it? Between 8 and 9. So,
Okay.
Boost is all the way up. There's no prisoners. This is about as much gain as you can get, still being tight. The AMP1 is, even the Mercury edition is still tight with the boost engaged. If you need more tightness, you can try to reduce the gain from 10 to like 7. Let me show you. My feeling is 10. Okay, first attempt was Stack 1980, the classic channel, and yeah, now I'm with a gain at 8, which is like the compromise between as much gain as possible and still having the maximum tightness. Okay, I have just one more thought on the cabinet. Let's see if my beloved 1970 stack with more mic position will do a good job as well. I don't know. Let's see. Just fun. I kind of like that too. Huh? Better?
I think so, a bit, oder?
Yeah, it's. I'm torn. They're both great. Let's compare to the other one, Stack 80 with less presence. And here we go. And this one. Yeah, it's better. I prefer. Yeah. So another try I want to do is modern channel, all the way up. Tone, I start counterclockwise because I think with all the trouble coming from the tone control, we can stay there. Let's see. Okay, so this was the last attempt, which I also like. Modern channel. I stay with the gain on 7 or 8. Where is it? 8. And I use the boost as well. The modern needs gain for this kind of sound. Try them both. I think both of the sounds are in that kind of ballpark. And my Stack 1970 always wins. Okay, maybe for a change I'll try the same thing on the Iridium. Okay, Iridium. One thing to check Is it in... now I put it to low gain mode, which I don't want. No, I have to go back. It was in the correct mode. So make high gain. Okay, so because we are in high gain. So definitely in the classic channel, not a modern. And now we can do the AB. Let's do classic Mercury versus classic Iridium. We start with the Iridium. I think they're doing both pretty good job. There's, also in the same ballpark. And by the way, the settings are full gain, full boost, classic counterclockwise. This could be something that, let's check that one. Clean tone. Where's the tone? Here's the tone. No, it was actually not counterclockwise, it was clockwise. Let's check counterclockwise, which I think is not so good. So this is counterclockwise, and now I do clockwise, and anything in between is also possible. It's hard to tell. I like them both. But you heard what you heard, okay? I think that's enough for Eric because I'm running out of fast playing. Thinking of this guy, it's like, okay, I have to make tarot with the right hand, you know, and play some blues licks. Okay, next
Yeah,
question.
Let's go to the next question.
We have so many questions, guys.
Profile Productions. Thomas, I bought PRS Piezo because I did not want to change guitars. I play country, rock and blues and some dance music. Okay. I have the AMP1 and Iridium, but I need something for the acoustic. Please help with a setup. Thanks.
Okay, so this morning I went to to somewhere. Wait a sec. Where I had stored my storage place for my acoustic. So this has a piezo pickup system. Fishman transducer is it called, and I tried briefly the Mercury edition clean, and I thought it is not perfect, but it works. Let me show you. So this is why is there so much hum? Ground issue. I think this guitar has a little issue. Forget about a hum. I will try to give you a acoustic sound, but I will also try to use another pick. So we have a standard nylon pick, you know, that what you German Schlager. So let's see. Okay, that's way too bright. Get everything in the middle. Okay, this was the Mercury edition with the boost engaged still on full. I like the boost with the acoustic guitar for some reason. And 7 on the clean volume, everything to bright, so which means clockwise all the way up. Bass in the middle a little bit less to 4, and I left treble in the middle. You have an EQ on your acoustic guitar, that is probably a good thing, and not to use too much of the amp EQ. But he was playing a Iridium. So let's see what the Iridium does with it. Well, let's put it that way.
There's a question.
What is the speaker sim? Still on the same Stack 1970, my Marshall Stack, which is in the same ballpark like the direct recording out of AMP1. The Iridium, okay, has a different voice direct out, but if you had like a Marshall type cabinet, it sounds like that. It might even sound better with a Fender type cabinet, but I just came here from whatever we heard before, and I just tried to make something that is probably somehow you can live with it. It is not the perfect thing, but I heard also ugly guitar sounds from acoustic guitars straight plugged in. Is it my recommendation? Actually, no, but it is something, it's worth a try because it doesn't sound that bad. And if you, I could spend a little bit more time with the guitar and try to adjust brilliance and the reverb and stuff, and you get somewhere. And especially, I think, when you do picking, the AMP1 has to offer something that you don't get from straight into the PA, because the piezo pickups, they have all this high end, but they have no meat. And electric guitar amps always give you the meat, and AMP1 does that as well. Anyway, so that's my answer. Setting on the Iridium, I use the tone of the clean all the way up, and the clean volume, I didn't use the boost actually. I can try one more thing with the boost and reduce the volume here. Nope. And I tell you why. Because the boost in the Iridium has a mid focus, and that mid focus is good for metal, and it has tightness, but it's too much for the acoustic guitar. So on the Mercury I liked the boost, and on the Iridium I would live without it, and it sounds pretty good. Okay. Next.
Thank you, Screaming Eagle, for this question.
Yep.
Next is... Oh, the next is longer. Please, can you try to recreate this tone?
This was the huge...
And HTTPS? No, okay.
Yeah, okay. It's Andy Timmons. Okay. So, I mean, that's a lot. Andy Timmons is first a killer guitar player, and Andy is actually also kind of a friend of mine. We never really played together, which was on our wish lists forever. Yeah, okay, one day we will. So what was the Andy Timmons sound? Well regarded also. Please, can you try to do this with the blue box for us? Okay, I'm always using the blue box. Don't be afraid of that. So, Andy Timmons has a signature guitar by Ibanez. It's the AT100 and whatever. I don't have one here, but I have my Strat and I have other guitars. I start with the Strat because that guitar I know best. And then, once I found the tone, I will show you that same sound with other guitars. He has its own signature pedals and amps and stuff like this, but what is his recipe? His recipe is a warm and singing lead sound. I think Lucas was clever. He sent me a clip. Even more. What is this? Okay, more? No. Huh? What is this? Where's the clip? Wait a minute. Backing. Cry for You. Oh, Andy Timmons. Okay, I will. So here we have some Andy Timmons. Let's listen to the sound first because it's killer. I'm a fan. Okay, Andy Timmons is such a great guy and an even better guitar player. Here we listen. Here comes. There's an airplane outside.
Okay.
Sorry.
No aliens today.
Yeah, no aliens. Whatever. Wait a minute. I have some noise. This is coming from the echo. This might be the power supply. Let's get another power supply. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have it. This is one, but this is the best one.
Oh, yeah,
okay. Power by what's the brand? Big Joe. Okay, thanks to Big Joe because this has it's like a battery, and this should be clean now. Let's listen. Yeah. Okay. This is, by the way, Andy's signature delay, the Halo, and this is based on a David Gilmour style of delay. 2 echoes with come in a rhythm. Okay, this has something to do with like the old tape echoes meets the digital world. It's killer, simple. So, and since I have it, I'm using it. So not too much, maybe. Oh, this is a little. Okay. So sound-wise, I use the modern, and with the Strat, I use the boost because then I have all the gain that I want for the. So it is a warm overdrive. For me, I think coming from the Eric Steckel aggression, it's hard to go back into this warm world for a while. But it's not too far off what I hear from the record. Let me show you again. Okay, so this is somewhere in this ballpark. And if I would use another guitar, I would probably not use the boost, because the boost gives the the single coils more output. Let's see. Okay, with the Strat, pretty impressive. Okay, then there's another guitar that is in this direction, which is Alex's guitar. Can you see that, Alex?
Okay. Oh.
That's a super Strat. So I think Andy's signature guitar is somewhere in between. Let's see what happens here. With the boost, probably too much. sounds also good with this guitar. I tried the Classic for a while, but I think the Classic would be his old tone, and with this more modern recording he was like warmer, and therefore modern on the AMP1 is the tone for it.
One of the questions was,
can I do the same on the Iridium? Okay. Yeah. So let's get the. Can you hold it for a sec?
Yeah.
Then I put this in here. The echo is essential when you play ballads. So, and now I do the same on the Iridium. On the Iridium, I'm sure the Classic is the one because the modern is too modern. So let's check. Song, sorry guys, it's very beautiful. The only part I know is the beginning. D minor 9. Try to do that again. So, Classic channel, I didn't change anything. It's basically middle position, a little bit more bass, but this doesn't matter. The Classic channel is key. I probably have the tone still on the wrong side. I put it in the other side and you will hear it's even sweeter. And the Timmons tone possible with both AMP1s.
Yep.
Okay, there's a question. Wie groß ist die Schmetterlinge der beiden?
Ja.
Die Schnittmenge. Okay, the Schnittmenge. Okay, this is a German question from Tobias Steffen. What is like the overlapping range of both amps? Well, there is. Let's put it that way. The more vintage you get, the more the Mercury is king. and the more modern you get, both are equally good, and this is the tighter amp. And the thing about the definition in the notes, it's a matter of taste. Some people need, special metal players, they need that definition like crazy, and that's something that's like Eric Steckel, for instance, also needs. So these are great qualities in amps, and depending on your right hand, I would recommend, if you have a very good right hand, you can play a Mercury and make that tight. I can. But some people, they play a Mercury and they think it's like, it is not clean enough. They want a more, in German, aufgeräumt, more like a tone that is very defined. And this is Iridium. Iridium like instantly says, play a note, and here I am, bam. Yeah, and that's even the quality if you play like classic stuff, like melodic stuff like this now. And for me, I'm that old school guy that wants to fight with the amp a bit more, and that's my pleasure to play this Mercury. But like tone wise, there's all this kind of classic high gain stuff is in both amps. Also, this has a bit more vintage vintage sounds based on the different clean channel and the warmer vintage channel. And it ends kind of in the Soldano territory with the modern channel. And this goes even further for the next even tighter stuff. So, but anything in the middle kind of overlaps, and if you need an amp that is tighter and faster, Iridium is the choice. And if you want to more fight, then the Mercury is the choice. Okay, that's the answer to this question. I don't read the comments. Can you anything here, or what's going on? We have some more. Let's do sounds.
Yeah. Click. Okay, hello Thomas. I love AMP1 Mercury and Blue Box.
Fenderish, Super Reverb, Twin Reverb, Vibro Reverb. Okay,
genau.
We are talking. I do have my Fender collection, and the next question, I think there's like 3 Fender questions. So this,
let's see.
Yeah, let's see. Blackface sounds, okay. Fender Blackface, there's 2, and there is a 57 twin amp. All again Mercury edition. And the next question, what is again? No. 583 sound is also a Fender. So I got all the Fenders. Let's go for Fender Bender.
Yeah.
La. Can you have the Alex guitar back?
Yeah.
So I will fire up the Fender. Let's see what happens.
Genau.
Fender is 4. Okay, both plugged in 4. Guitar input is not plugged in. So now it's hopefully I'm getting a signal out of. So this is a 64 Super Reverb, and the reverb tank is in the housing, which is in the company, in the R&D department, but I have the electronics here, and so it's dead dry. So just to prove it, so there's our Fender, okay? Loud and proud. We had an episode about this amp with a friend of mine who is, you know him, he was a former colleague, the blues guy. Lucas.
Ah, okay, Lucas.
Yeah,
okay,
Luke.
Cool,
Luke.
Luke, yeah.
Yeah,
The Fender Lucas, yeah, okay.
Yeah. His nickname is Fender Lucas?
No.
No. Okay. But Yeah, Luke is kind of, he was here in episode, I don't know, 100, and maybe Lucas knows when Lucas was there a year ago. I think it was 158. $165. Okay, yeah, and he has the same Fender Super Reverb like mine. We compared them, and it was like shocking. It's like they sounded identical, and that's very unusual. So this is, I think, even his favorite settings from last time. So that's a 64 Fender Super Reverb Blackface. So then let me see what I can do with a Mercury. I think I do. Clean all the way up. I use a little boost. I need more volume. See, this is the Fender now cranked, and the AMP1 is louder. That's the AMP1, and the Fender is not as loud. So that tells me 100 watt. Well, this is of course 266, which is 50 watts only. Let's go to half power mode. Switch off the AMP1. Press and hold the left foot switch and put it back on. So this should now be half power mode, and listen. Yeah, it's more similar to the output power now. So I would say not too far off, but I hear more sparkling in the AMP1. So two options. I can reduce the treble, but I will do it here on the side and go to the middle position, clean. So it's too much already. Okay, full up. A touch, which is 3. Yeah, that's. on the Marshall cabinet, maybe I should choose a Fender style cabinet like So this would be a Fender Super Reverb similar sound. It's not 100%, but to give you the settings, I'm on half power mode, so we have a similar breakup. I'm with the clean volume on 8.5. I use the boost. I have the bass in the middle position. I have the middle a lot, like 8.5, and the same with the treble. But to get not too much treble, hi-fi treble, I put the clean tone on 3 o'clock. So that's a Fender Blackface Super Reverb from 1964. Yeah, wait, and now I will swap the amp for the one underneath. Which is a Fender Bassman. Speaker cable heavy. Wait a minute, where's the switches? There's the switches. Ouch! Fucking hot. Tubes. So, I hope this is the right one. Well, and this is up. If it's wrong, we'll kill the amp. But it's correct. Okay. So this, by the way, is a Blackface Bassman, probably also 1964, with a slight, make it even more tasty modification with the combination of both channels. And it's maxed out by a German guy called Clapton Guitars. Clapton is, again, a good friend of mine, and he's the expert on these amps, and of course other amps, but I'm not so much a Fender guy, so I gave him my amp and told him, you know, do the best you can, because it was original and it was a bit boring. And he kind of looked at everything and he did his mojo to it, and that's now this amp. Well, one part of the mojo is it's louder because I can hear already. I switch now back to the AMP1, which was trying to be a super reverb, and the super reverb is not as punchy. And the Bassman. Not that different. Well, see, that's another problem. When you, as a player, have a taste, you always strive for your tone. Mm-hmm. And then, no matter what amp you are playing, you always set the same frequencies. And I didn't have both amps side by side for 6 months. And I took the super reverb from the company here, didn't change anything, and the Bassman was sitting here because when I got it back from Clapton, I dialed it in the way I wanted the best sound, and now they sound pretty close. Let's see if there's anything I can learn from this. I think they're even closer. So there's another Fender Bassman. Okay. We wanted people with Tweed amps as well. Being in the Fender, this is next dangerous move. Hot. Switch off. Speaker cable, very important. Input cable. And here we go. This is my 57 Tweed Deluxe. I guess another $10,000 amp, which I bought for a tenth of the price maybe. So, speaker. So, power. This thing needs power. Where is power? Power is... Usually there are 3 outlets here. Let's see. Ah, I unplugged one of the Fenders then. Hopefully that's the one. Okay, while I'm doing that, there's a little clip of that. Oh wait, I can show it. Let me show it. Sorry. Switch on. Yes. Lucas could show the amp. Which camera? Ah, this one. Cool. Wait a minute. Maybe we can put it in a way that we can see the front panel. So you see the front panel. Okay, I plug in, and these are animals. This is one of the most characterful amps of all times. When they're clean, There's nothing. Bass like hell. Okay, a little bit noisy, but. That's part of that amp. Okay, I put it a little lower from the setting so it's cleaner. I have the original cabinet in the blue box. Tweed 112. Yeah, great amp. And the farty low end, which is unbelievable. Yeah, I like it. So that's something the AMP1 cannot do because it's too tight. It's the total opposite of metal. So AMP1, let me try to do my very best. So clean volume full, maybe, well, we need a boost to have this kind of amount, and bass full, and the rest we will see. there's a limit for this kind of sound because the AMP1 has not so much bass. Maybe you like that bass, maybe you hate that bass, but it's part of the 5E3 sound. Let me show you. What am I doing? I try to get a patch cable and I steal the delay. We go here, we go there, and I plug this in front of the AMP1 and I increase the bass and then we get there. Here's the Fender. Try to get somewhere with the bass, and now I can dial in. I put this in middle position. And then again, this has, I don't know how many watts, 12 or, and this has 50 now. Therefore, maybe soon.
Yeah.
This would help. Let me show you. Come on. I do it. I do it. Hello. Is this? Okay. There's whatever. I'll put the master full, and I put the power soak on less power. Yeah, with a little help of that friend, the one control, which gives you access to the power amp saturation. We call it power soak, but it's actually a power scaling. I can be in the same ballpark of output power, and that is essential to get there. So this kind of amp lives on the low power phenomena, and honestly, that sound, you need something like that. We have a very, very limited coming in because hand built by Julian for the endless requests that you always have on the phone.
The waiting list is so long.
Yeah. But there will be more coming in September. We have a mass production going on, so we will make everybody happy, including people on the other side of the ocean, which means America as well. So we are working on this. Let's go for the next question because we are running out of time. Marshall at bedroom are Blackmore tones. Hey guys, I have done so many Blackmore tones. I do it really quick because I'm unplug everything again to show you how simple that is. Blackmore is a piece of cake, at least in my world, because I love Blackmore. And you can go for classic or vintage. Somebody wanted a Blackmore tone with AMP1 speakers. Okay. Of course, not the Fender amp. But by the way, let me switch it off. It's expensive. Yeah. It became expensive. It wasn't so much when I bought it. Okay. Let me go back for a speaker. I start with my Stack 1970 because that always works. Let me get the AMP1 back to factory reset. I put in half power and whatnot to make sure that so the question is what kind of Blackmore tone we are talking about. Are we talking about burn? Then I would go for the vintage channel and have not too much gain but a little bit of boost. So this was gain on 7. Let's have a little reverb. Of course he has his special treatment, but I'm just doing it AMP1 by itself. Use the boost because he always has like a preamp, like a treble booster, like one of these Bernd Meiser treble boosters. I can highly recommend those. There's a Krause and Plug from the 1990s when I did something with somebody else, and my own makes. Well, anyway, the thing about booster pedals is they do something with the pickups, and you can get there almost with the built-in boost, and then if you want a bit more solid foundation, go with the classic. Versus vintage. So, classic and boost. I put the gain a little bit down to 7 and the rest is middle position. Oh, I had a bit more bass, but Blackmore has less, but put it in the middle position. Mm-hmm. Blackmore, AMP1, it's middle position, vintage, classic, boost, you're there. So.
Tips regarding speakers?
Yeah, I have used the Stack 1970 for me now, but another good speaker for Blackmore would be the Stack 1967. Let me show you. Has a different kind of mids. It's not as ballsy, it's a bit elegant, maybe in another way. Back to 1970. And Stack 1980 is also in that territory. My favorite 70, 67, or let's put it 70 is my favorite, 80 second favorite, and 67 third. But hey, matter of taste. And Blackmore used different cabinets and he has different tones too. But these three I would pick. Okay, next question. Okay, 1987 50 watt Plexi Marshalls. Well, this is my Plexi Marshall, as I have proven many times. And now the challenge is to get this at bedroom level with a real cabinet. Okay, I show you. Is this hooked up? A 50 watt Plexi. And come on, high risk. Is it plugged in? Yep, it's the blue cable. Let me double check. Something's plugged in. Is it? But it's not a blue cable. Hey, hey, hey. Which one is it? See? What is going on here? Is a black thick cable. The black thick cable goes here, and the black thick cable is here. Maybe then I swap them. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, so again, this is very loud. This is a Marshall fully cranked, okay? And let's go back for my Stack 70. Okay, 50 watt Plexi, 1969. You know, one of my best. So, AMP1. So, has a little bit more high end. I go and make it low gain mode. As you can see, blink. Put the gain on full. Okay, I thought the amp was but I switched to the wrong amp. Okay, this is like the Marshall. There is your amp, fully cranked, fully cranked. So, how to get this sound at bedroom volume? Well, we switch the Marshall off because we have shown that the AMP1 sounds pretty similar. And there is Wait a minute, there is another amp here. If you give me just the speaker cable. That one? Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks. And wait a minute. So, let's... Yep. Whoop. Okay. So there's the speaker cable, and that speaker cable goes into a little nano cap. So now comes a funky move. I will put on a mic here. Hello. And this mic is now picking up the room. I switch the mic on. Zack. Hello, Lucas. Are we listening? So these are off, or still there? Off. Huh? So I can, and it's only here. So if I plug in the cabinet at the same volume, so now the direct sound will be gone, as we can see by this unplugging. And now I plug in the nano cap, and it will be way too loud, but we want bedroom level. What I will do is like, put this down to 1. And there's your sound. Because that's kind of that amp in low volume. I mean, maybe you can hear how low this is, like. We can talk and we can talk and still you can hear the guitar. So this is a proof how low it is, and I can go even lower. Wait a minute. Okay, and here's another example which I found very important is I show you how the Kenya sounds sound like the classic channel. And there is no fizz or nothing, it's warm. There is usually, if you have such a sound at low volume, it would be even at the lowest volume. Okay, this is like guitar. Yeah, it's so consistent. It sounds the same like at the lowest volume or the highest volume.
Could you show?
What is the difference with the power soak built in? Well, the power soak is not even used yet because I unplugged this, and this is the proof that AMP1 sounds rich and full and not fizzy without any additional things. It's just low volume, but the preamp sounds so balanced, and this is what a lot of people don't get. It's like they think you have to crank the amp to get a rich tone, but not with the AMP1. Super, yeah. We can whisper and this is. So this is one thing, and the other thing I have to make an extra episode about is Synergy just released the Dr. Z module with the first ever preamp that does power amp sagging. Guess what? We always had this in the vintage channel on AMP1 since day one. The silver edition, we also had this sagging built in our preamp channels, which Synergy just was praising as Dr. Z invention. It's all great, it's all good, but they are doing what we have done 10 years ago now, and everybody goes like, wow, they finally got it. Well, we had it 10 years ago already. I will do an episode on that one day. And here's the proof. You can this kind of the sound is so low and it's still so stable. Like, this is what you get when an amp is cranked, and it's already here in the vintage channel because it's part of the DNA what we are doing. Next question, come on. we have so many. Mick. We are switching our regular setup. So this mic is off now. I will re-plug the setup, so we are going back to our usual studio setup. By the way, now I found the blue speaker cable. Oh. Yeah, which was on the other side. Okay. By the way, I have the slow setting here, and I can kind of increase the volume on the system. This is what it sounds like with the blue box. See, master on 1, and the amp already has the that sagging, even at 1. Okay.
Aerosmith?
Yeah, Joe Perry, Aerosmith. Okay. I was reading about Joe Perry, and I had a rig rundown. He has basically all kinds of amps sitting on stage. Again, tons of Marshalls, stuff that we all know, and he has a few special amps, but in the end, his tone is a rather clean Marshall sound that we just heard. When I use, maybe the vintage channel on a lower setting, because he also likes treble, and he does the rest with pedals and the choice of his guitars. Also, okay. Go back to, and this guy is about volume. Aerosmith is a loud rock band. Stage is filled with cabinets, and this is like what was the, I don't know. Nothing special here. This is my standard setting. I just turned the gain to 5. Maybe put it to 6. Simple hint, vintage channel, gain to 6, middle position, you're there. So, next question. How can we get the sound of the Trainwreck? I have recorded a full episode on the Trainwreck, from clean to mean with the volume knob. Well, this is totally what I'll do. Watch that little clip and I explain what's happening afterwards. Okay. So you heard two amps, this one and this one. I don't know if you can tell a big difference. There might be a tiny little difference, but I believe they are in the same ballpark and they are two great amps. Okay, so you could see the settings that I used in the A-B comparison. This was of course not an original Trainwreck because they are so expensive. This one belongs to a friend of mine and this copy is as good as can be. Yeah, it's to be seen in episode 178. 178. Yeah, just watch the full episode. But basically, what happens on the Trainwreck is it is a vintage style overdrive with more gain and controlled gain. And this is what is happening here also on AMP1 in the vintage channel. Just have a bit of gain and the rest happens on the guitar. Put the gain up. Lucas, do you remember the settings that I had for the Trainwreck? Then I just put those in and then I show you what happens with the guitar. Okay, so gain on 9, volume on 10, 3.5, 7.5, quick and dirty 5. Okay, vintage channel and of course that's it. But you can see there's a lot of master going on. So let me get, I can get it to 7, which is pretty loud. I needed that, well, I can put the volume down here, it's not a problem. 7, the point is that was to match the volume of the original Trainwreck. Because when I do A-B, if the Trainwreck is louder, then I don't, you cannot compare it. It needs to have the same volume. So 7 I think was the so the sound is all here from, as you requested, from clean to mean. It's all on the volume knob with a setting like this. Vintage channel and some gain. And you are there, because the rest is just a little different EQ, a little bit more mids for that voicing of this particular setting on the Trainwreck.
Cool.
Okay, next. The only sound I miss is a Dumble-like sound with deep mids. I have to admit that's correct. And these deep mids we only get from an external pedal because that's part of the typical Dumble voicing. And I use this super cheap Fame EQ. This is the house brand of the German music store. Cheap as it can be, but actually pretty good. Well, it does the job. Short cable. And now we need the power supply again on. And okay, so bypass. We are talking about deep mids. So deep mids 400. Make it a bit smoother by adding some 800. And I guess this is where we probably need a different cabinet, something like this. A cabinet, I mean, the Dumble has an Electro Voice 12-inch 12L speaker most of the time, and they are very wild, kind of not forgiving, and that Marshall stack is a bit too round for me. I can get rid of some mids here. Without the EQ. Yeah, deep mids are coming from the pre-EQ in the Dumble, and this is what I've done with the pedal. I need to have a proper Dumble. They all sound different, and do an A/B comparison, which I will do one day. I know 2 people with Dumbles. It's coming up someday with AMP1 and later AMP-X, of course. That's the Dumble quick one. AMP1 Mercury, Nanocap, Warmklingen Santana Sound einstellen. Okay, he wants a Santana sound, warm sounding. Well, this would have been one option, but you wouldn't play a Stratocaster to play Santana. He has a Paul Smith custom, so I will simply go for the Les Paul. The Paul Smith is a little airier than this, but honestly, I think Santana sounds can be different. There's the early Santana sound, and you are talking about a warm one. The warmest sound you get from the modern channel, let me simply do it. Make sure you have not too much treble. I put it in the middle position, everything in the middle position. And we choose the modern channel. So the modern channel with the tone counterclockwise is already there. I just didn't use any of the EQ yet. I was still on the Fender's cabinet, but modern channel is key. And then choose a cabinet that pushes maybe the mids a little bit. I would probably go for 2x12. If you even use the boost, you have endless sustain. So no real magic. It's the magic of the modern channel. Done.
Done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, this is a long question. What is
Are
it?
there any recommendations on how best to create sounds with Mercury and Blue Box if you only play in-ear? How would...
We saved that topic because that's too much for now. Yeah, okay, skip it. Next one. We'll answer this, but this is a maybe one for the next episodes.
This is alles okay.
Yeah.
Good.
This was my answer already. This was a short where you show how I balance the channels. This was is also for the next episode. In the next episode, I will demonstrate how to use more than one sound, maybe 4 sounds, maybe even more, maybe only 3 sounds, and how to use those at the same time, and how to dial in the tone stack and the tone controls so that they all match each other. That's for next week.
Okay, and Julian will come?
Yeah, Julian will join for
Uh-huh.
this one, for technical stuff and so on. Yeah.
Cool.
So next, or is this the last one?
The last one is from 2 hours, I think.
You have...
From Marcus. So I only have the email.
Hi, stop! Wait a minute. I have the Green Day. This was this came in earlier. Green Day. Lucas, do we have the clip? Can you play the clip? So somebody was asking about Green Day, and I wanted to show you how to get that real quick. It's one of those where I thought, this is a piece of cake, and it was. Let me show you. The first thing is you have to have a guitar that is half step down. It's said that... What's the guy of the Green Day, the guitar player? Lucas. What's the name of the guitar player? Do you know?
The singer.
Huh?
The singer.
The singer, yeah, but anyone knows
Billy
his...
Joe Armstrong.
Billy Joe Armstrong, genau, okay. So this is definitely not the Green Day sound, but I think it was a pretty simple thing. And I had it, but I didn't write it down. Okay, but I'm sure I get it in a second again. Can we listen to the clip so we know what we are aiming at? Okay, so you heard the sound. I just didn't hear it loud, but let me try my best. maybe. Let me see if I have the sound again. Fucking hell, do I have it? What is this? Well, sorry, where is it? Where is the fucking back? I had it, and then I killed that. Okay, so let me listen. Hello. Okay. I'll leave it for here for now. I had it even a bit closer, but the recipe is fairly simple. I'm using a Marshall cabinet, my Stax 1970. The mic placement is a bit more to the bright side now compared to what I usually do, and as we can see, treble is in the middle position, middle is in the middle position. I have a little bit more bass, and then the gain is on 6.5 and the boost is on all the way up. I think that's pretty close. That's one more time. Huh? Any comments? Are we happy? We are happy. Super. Okay. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's not the same guitar. He probably plays a Strat. Let me show you. But then the Strat is not in the right key, so I had. But just to show you. Yeah, if the guitar would be the right one, I'm sure that so close, and it's just a great Marshall tone, basically that is, and you find it in the AMP1. Mm-hmm. So,
okay, the last question.
Yeah, after 2 hours.
Marcus?
Yeah.
Goodie.
What's going on?
Hier ist ein Iridium und ein Mercury.
Ja.
Und er hat dann gemeint, dass der Mercury wohl mehr.
Okay.
Genau, wir hatten vorhin ganz kurz.
Okay. I'm reading all the stuff that he's playing. Les Paul Standard, SG Standard, Fender Stratocaster Standard. So, so he played a Mercury. Wait a minute. So I translate. I have the Mercury so far. He's testing the Mercury, the Blue Box, Fat Cap, and a remote one. Is even there a cover band songs from Gotthard. It's a Swiss metal or hard rock band. Judas Priest, Bon Jovi, AC/DC, Linkin Park, Spin Doctors. If you wanted Oasis. Okay, for a beat. So he has the feeling that the Mercury has more overtones. The Iridium is tighter. Ich denke, okay. he's using a Marshall JVM 410 and he doesn't want to go back there, and the Kemper is also not an alternative. La 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 la. Okay. He has a little bit noise issues with the Iridium in combination with the Digitech drop. Well, but that's the thing we talk about next episode.
Okay.
How to explain the difference? We heard the both amps side by side. Overtones. They both create overtones, but they both have a slightly different character in how they come across. Wait a minute, I try to clean up this thing and show you one more time for the rest of this episode. Get rid of every patch cable. Maybe the difference. The Strat is maybe the wrong guitar if he plays Les Pauls and SGs, so let's go back for the Les Paul. Here's the Les Paul, and we have I'm doing weird stuff. Okay. Drop 2. Well, that's Mercury. I would say it's fluffier low end, creamier mids, and a big fat tire. And this is Iridium. Sorry, this is the pickup. Let's put both in the middle position, both in the middle position. Okay, and then we compare again. Vintage both, and now so the Iridium is simply more aggressive, tighter, but hey, this is just character. Okay. I think we are fine for today with all the sound comparisons. Next week we will have Julian as a guest, and we will explain how to get different sounds managed. And yeah, this is a big topic. We will talk about MIDI, we will talk about pedal boards, we will talk, and of course I want to do the A/B comparison what I just done on the vintage channel for all the channels, so you get a full picture of the difference in each channel: clean, vintage, classic and modern. was on the list for last episode, this episode, but it's always too much. So, I think this is it for today.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining in.
Thanks for joining the Testweeks.
Yeah.
Thanks for support BluGuitar.
Yep.
Yeah.
And of course, there's more to come next week, and it will be exciting because we will show you, Julian and myself, we will show you how to dial in the different tones and have them all available at the foot switches, and how to use them in a live situation where you really have to switch fast between presets. It's not a problem if you have one sound and then you are in the studio and you can dial everything differently, but since AMP1 is not fully programmable, you have to have some skills how to match the tones. But this is my specialty, and this is coming up next week. Okie doke. Take care, guys. See you all. Rock and roll. Bye bye.